Hello, prospective independent MP Paul Brown, sitting in the constituency of Great Yarmouth in my back garden on a glorious sunny day. I will ask you to stick with this video, as it may not be apparent initially where I'm going with it, but this is the independent way. Hands up, all those that are aware of the programme Homes Under the Hammer. Oh, there's a few. I don't really know how many hands have gone up. I just like a bit of interaction. I used to love Homes Under the Hammer. Couples going to auctions, single people going to auctions, first time buyers getting a foot on a property ladder, seeing the transformation as the time goes over, and then finally they move into their home. That's Homes Under the Hammer. Fast forward to Homes Under the Hammer now, and it's property developers, and more property developers building up a portfolio where instead of saying at the end of the programme, this will be worth X amount of money now after spending Y amount of money on it, it's worth this now, and it will provide a yield of more than 10%. Now, as at the 21st of June this year, i.e. a couple of days ago, the top percentage for savings was 5.1% for instant access, 5.35% for a 90-day access, and 5.5%, but it had to be tied up for 18 months. And yet, Homes Under the Hammer, you have a yield of nearly double that, 10% and more, and it's the renters of the properties that are giving the landlords this absurd yield. We are being told we need to build more homes, and if Labour are to be believed, this will be on grey belt land. And yet we have an infrastructure that cannot cope as it stands. Water companies flooding us with sewage, more energy required to heat and light the homes. The infrastructure we have does not cope with the housing that we have. And that's without stopping the build prior to actually getting to the number where they have to build a doctor's surgery or a school. If you look back at the 70s, both main parties at the time agreed that the more landlords we have, the bigger the problem for renters. Rent controls, secure tenancies and interest rates saw the rental sector to fall to just 9% in 1988. Municipalising the private sector had cross-party support. No need for compulsory purchases, landlords wanted to sell. More of the population could afford to buy. As is the case now, renters are paying more in the rent than they would in mortgage repayments. The present system was designed, as the Supreme Court noted in 2016, to ensure that the letting of private property will again become an economic proposition. No fault evictions because landlords could get more rent have become more and more prevalent. All the positive effects of the dwindling of the sector lost, replaced more and more situations where two people working full time are scraping by. No opportunities to get out of the situation. Modest reforms were meant to be implemented in 2019 and all parties of the political spectrum agreed. And 5 years later, nothing. Nothing done, nothing being done. There's a really interesting article by Nick Bano in The Guardian. He is a renters' rights barrister. I would recommend looking it up. So, take a look at what the parties are going to do for and to the rental sector. With some sort of cap, which is what I as an independent would be pushing for, this would give renters the opportunity to maybe save for a deposit, or even just get beyond day-to-day survival. If then landlords decide their money would be better invested elsewhere, then that becomes new investment to areas that need investment. I will say now that I have been mostly fortunate with the landlords I have had. As a lifelong renter, I've had a few. But alas, I fear I am the exception as opposed to the rule. And to be honest with you, it only takes one instance of having to uproot your life to realise the impact this has. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the sunshine. Vote Paul Brown in Great Yarmouth on July the 4th, Independence Day. And like and share can get us there.